Hello friends, I welcome you all to this online session of Compulsory English. In the last session, we have already started discussing this subject. We understand that this subject is not meant to teach you English grammar, but this subject is meant to enhance your ability, enhance your employability. So instead of thinking that this text or this syllabus is meant only for the improvement of your English language or improvement of your knowledge of English language, we are supposed to improve, we are supposed to enhance the employability. So this is what the major goal of this course. And as per this goal, if you see the syllabus structure or the topics prescribed to you for the semester first and semester second, you will understand that they are meant to improve your personality. Communication and communication skills are one of the components of all these things, one of the component of your good personality. So you can instead of calling it as only as an English communication text or English communication syllabus, you can consider it as a personality development course. So we will discuss in this syllabus, in this text, we will discuss how to write letters. We will discuss how to deal with interview. So there are several of soft skills that were introduced to you in this case. So as per we decided in the last session, instead of going directly for the syllabus, instead of going directly uh, discussion of the topic that is prescribed to you, let us think or let us speak about certain things that we should consider. In the last session, I discussed with you that what we have done in the last 12 years. In the last 12 years, we were learning English, but this is the fact that we cannot speak in English. This is the fact that we cannot understand in English. This is the fact we cannot read fluently in English. And this has happened with us because what we have done in last 12 years in the classrooms, in the schooling, that we haven't discussed, that we haven't deal with English language. We have learned about English language. This is the basic thing that I focused in the last session. What we have done, we have focused, we have discussed, we have learned about English language. We haven't learned English language. Understand the difference between these two things. First is that we haven't deal with or we haven't learned English language, but we learn about English language. म्हणजे भाषा शिकण्याच्या ऐवजी आपण काय केलेलं आहे, भाषेविषयी शिकलेलो आहोत. We have learned about language. So this is the basic difference in that. The first thing that I would like to discuss here is that when we were learning about a subject, for example, you are learning about a botany, or you are learning about a history, or you are learning about any other subject, knowledge oriented discipline. So these disciplines are knowledge oriented. The goal of reading history, goal of reading botany, goal of reading chemistry is to acquire knowledge about the chemistry, is about acquiring knowledge of a botany, is acquiring a knowledge of a history or a political science. So what is the difference between these knowledge oriented disciplines and language learning? When we were learning Hindi, when we were learning Marathi, when we were learning English, when we were learning any other French language, any other foreign language like French or Germany, you can understand that we were not learning, we were not reading about language. Instead, what we are doing, we were learning the skills of English language or skills of the language learning. And this is what we should understand. And for that purpose, we should focus on skills instead of knowledge. We have gathered, we have acquired ample knowledge about the English language. We have learned about no sooner than as soon as not only but also passive voice, active voice, and so many grammar chunks we have learned about. But we never think about speaking in English. We haven't connected these two things, that is use and usage. In the last session, I discussed with you these two terms. I have introduced to you these two terms, usage and use. What is usage? Usage means a grammar. And what is use? Use means a performance. Understand these two things. What we have done in the last 12 years, that we have focused on usage and we have forgotten or we have deliberately neglected the use. So in this course, that is a compulsory English for undergraduate degree, you can understand that we are supposed to connect these two things, use and usage. What we have learned in the last 12 years, we will start using it in from BA part first, second, BA, BCom part first, second, BSc part first, second, and third. So this is what the aim of this particular compulsory English, and this paper is a compulsory. Why this paper is compulsory for all? If you a student of a BA, you have to go for a compulsory English. Same thing is for BSc, same thing is for BCom, or even same things are for professional courses. English is compulsory for all courses. Why? Because you can understand that English is a very important language today. English is a lingua franca. We are connected with each other. We are connected with the world with this language, and we should understand this very well, that even if you are keen observer of your society, of our society, you can see that there are several of English medium schools around us. They were teaching even the knowledge oriented subject into English. So this is what is the shift, this is what the change you can understand, and we want to do all these things. The second important thing is that most of the books written in a English language. For example, as I told you that if you want to do UPSC, MPSC, or any other examinations, you can understand that most of the books, important books, significant books, seminal books, were written, were available in English language. They were not translated into Marathi, they were not translated into English, Hindi. So you have to read them in English only. I, I will give you an example that if you want to read, you are doing studies for MPS and UPS, and you are reading about emergency period of 1975 of Indira Gandhi. There are several books. Even in Marathi, you can see there are four books translated into Marathi from Hindi and English. British Tandon, Khushwant Singh, Ashok Jain. There are several books, several authors who write about this period. But you can understand that your text, your answer will be different one when you read a news series written by Max Navel, a British journalist writing for London Times at that particular period, and he writes a news series called as a Democracy in Eclipse. So when you read that, you can understand. If you give the reference of this series, your answer will be different than all other competitors. So this is what is the important thing we should understand. We must be very realistic about English learning goals. But what we are doing, we were thinking that I will learn English for different purposes. I will learn English for general purposes. So understand that we should be very realistic about English learning goals. For example, if you are a student of a BSc, you should think in terms of language register dedicated to science and technology. If you are a student of a BA, you should understand language used in arts and criticism. If you are a student of a commerce, you should understand about English used in a business communication. So this is what your goal of learning language should be, very realistic one. You should not be idealistic one. It is not possible for us to understand each and everything of a language, because language is a living system, living organism. It is a dynamic one. It is increasing day by day. The language, Marathi language, used in the at the time of Dhaneshwar Maharaj 400 years back is totally different today. You can understand that is that Marathi, we can't even understand what kind of Marathi is that. And similarly, they can't understand if revive a person 400 years back, he cannot understand what we were speaking in Marathi. So language is in fact a dynamic one. It is changing from time to time. It is changing from person to person. It is changing from region to region. So this is what we should understand. We should speak in English. We can write in English. We can read in English. We can understand what we listen in English. So this is what are the general goals that we should accept, that we should adapt, and we should start working on that. So the first thing that we should understand, that the goal, that should be a realistic one. We should be very very realistic about English language, because even in Marathi you can see we don't know about the Shlesha Alankar. We don't know about different kinds of Alankars used in Marathi language, but we can easily or very fluently speak in Marathi language. So similarly, you can understand in English, you can very easily use this English language without even understanding all these technicalities. So instead of, and this is what the shift, this is what the change that we have to adapt while learning language. Learning language at before or under 12th is different, and learning language at in undergraduate courses is totally different. Here we are focusing on use of language, and before that in 12th, in 11th, in 10th, 9th, 8th, you can see we were concentrating on the use of language, that is the grammar of, sorry, usage of language, that is the grammar of language. So this is what we should be a realistic one about English learning goals. Then another thing that we should understand, the practice speaking as well, not just a reading and listening. So this is what we have done in last 12 years, reading and listening. What we do, we read the textbook that is prescribed to us, we listen to the uh, teachers. In the last session I also mentioned about the learning experiences. You can understand that if we limit our learning experiences, then automatically we cannot improve our English language. We should have ample learning experiences. For example, I give you the example in the last session also about the Marathi language. What we have done in Marathi, we haven't learned, or we haven't started with the alphabets. A, B, K, D, E पासून आपण सुरुवात केलेली नाही. We have started directly speaking in Marathi language. So that kind of direct approach we should adapt, we should accept. And for that purpose, very easily, even 11 12 sorry 11 months baby started speaking at least I, baba, such kind of words. And then 2 years baby, she can speak very fluently in Marathi. she he can express himself herself in Marathi language. This is happening be due to two things. First thing is that their slates are totally blank, and we were uploading a system on it, that is a Marathi language, mother tongue. And second thing is that the learning exposure, learning experiences were ample with them. Teacher, sorry, mother, father, brother, sister, peers, all start speaking in Marathi with them. So they easily adapt the language. This is not happening with English language. The first thing is that we have already with us one system, that is the mother tongue. Whatever I am speaking with you, Mara English, understand that this is the position, this is the situation, that I am speaking with you in English, but you are not understanding it in English. You are understanding it in Marathi. There is a mechanism that we have created in our brain, that whatever we listen through our ears in English, translated immediately into Marathi. And whatever, for example, uh, even we learn words of English language with translation. Cow, instead of cow, when we say cow, we should understand, we should imagine, or the mental image of a cow should be there in our mind. आपल्या मनामध्ये गाईचं चित्र उभं राहिलं पाहिजे. जसं गाई म्हटल्यानंतर आपल्या मनामध्ये गाईचं चित्र उभं राहतं. मग ती वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारची गाई असू शकते. पण त्या गाईचं चित्र जे कॉमन आहे ॲनिमल, त्याचं चित्र आपल्या डोळ्यासमोर उभा राहतं. बट दिस इज नॉट एक्झॅक्टली हॅपनिंग इन इंग्लिश लँग्वेज. इंग्लिश लँग्वेजमध्ये काय होतं, इंग्लिश लँग्वेजमध्ये गाई म्हटल्यानंतर, काऊ म्हटल्यानंतर, इन्स्टेड ऑफ transcending or instead of imagining or instead of creating a mental image of a cow, mental image of a guy, what we were doing, we were translating it into Marathi and we were calling it cow means guy. So this is what we were doing. We were understanding it with another code, that is a mother tongue, that is a Marathi. So this is what we have connected. Instead of, if we understand a word in terms of two parts, every word is divided into two parts. First is the signifier and second is the signified. What is the signifier? Signifier and signified. Signifier means a word, or sorry, an image. For example, laptop. Laptop is a signifier. And signified, sorry, laptop, the word is a signifier, and the actual laptop or the image of laptop in my mind is a signified. So what I am doing, I am connecting this signifier and signified. I can understand English language very easily, I can understand Hindi language very easily, I can understand Marathi language very easily, because this bond between signifier and signified is very strong. This is not happening in English language. English language, what we were doing, we were connecting it with another signifier. Another signifier. For example, cow is a signifier. Signified is the mental image of a cow, or the actual cow is a signified. But in, when I understand, instead of strengthening the bond between cow and the mental image, or cow, or mental word and the actual cow, what I am doing, I am translating it with another signifier, and I am trying to connect two signifiers, that is cow means guy, cow means go. This is what I am doing, and this is the major fallacy, this is the major point that we should understand. This is what you can understand is the major problem we were facing in using English language. We were not connecting signifier with the signified, but we were connecting with signifier with another signifier. अंडरस्टँड दिस. सिग्निफायर, सिग्निफाईड हे जरी टेक्निकल शब्द असले तरी तुमच्या लक्षात येईल की शब्दाचे दोन मुख्य गोष्टी असतात. जो शब्द आपण उच्चारतो तो शब्द सिग्निफायर, आणि जो शब्द त्याचे जे मेंटल इमेज आपल्या डोळ्यासमोर, टेबल म्हटल्यानंतर आपल्या डोळ्यासमोर एक मेंटल इमेज निर्माण होते, किंवा झाड म्हटल्यानंतर आपल्या डोळ्यासमोर एक मेंटल इमेज निर्माण होते. मग ते कशाचंही झाड असू शकतं, पण ते झाड, त्याला खोड असेल, ब्रँचेस असतील, पानं असतील, मुळं असतील, कोणत्याही प्रकारचं झाड, मात्र झाडाची एक इमेज आपल्या डोळ्यासमोर उभी राहते. ती जी इमेज आहे, किंवा ऍक्च्युअल जे झाड आहे, एका झाडाकडे बघून जर मी झाड म्हटलं तर ते जे झाड आहे ते सिग्निफाईड आहे. ते सिग्निफाईड आहे, म्हणजे ते ऍक्च्युअल ऑब्जेक्ट किंवा ऍक्च्युअल ऑब्जेक्टचं मेंटल इमेज आहे. आता हे झालं मराठी भाषेच्या संदर्भात. आपण काय करतो आहोत, आपण हा जो सिग्निफायर आहे, झाड हे जो सिग्निफायर आहे, ते ऍक्च्युअल इमेज, ऍक्च्युअल झाड किंवा त्याचं जे मेंटल इमेज आहे त्याच्याशी आपण कनेक्ट करतो. म्हणजे हा जो बॉन्ड आहे, दिस बॉन्ड इज व्हेरी स्ट्रॉंग वन. बट इन इंग्लिश, इंग्रजीच्या बाबतीमध्ये मात्र तसं होत नाही. इंग्रजीच्या बाबतीमध्ये काय होतं, ट्री म्हटल्यानंतर आपल्या डोळ्यासमोर मेंटल इमेज निर्माण होत नाही. आपल्या डोळ्यासमोर काय निर्माण होतं, किंवा आपल्या मनामध्ये काय निर्माण होतं, तर आपल्या मनामध्ये निर्माण होतो दुसरा शब्द मराठीतला, झाड. म्हणजे ट्री म्हटल्यानंतर मी ट्री हा उच्चार केला का तुमच्या मनामध्ये मेंटल इमेज उमटायच्या ऐवजी मनामध्ये तुमच्या काय उमटतं, मराठीतला शब्द उमटतो, झाड. So this is also a major problem that we face, as this is a second language, and second language learning is totally different than first language acquisition. पहा, दोन शब्द आहेत, acquisition आणि learning. Acquisition is an automatic thing. मराठी लँग्वेज वी लर्न इट ऑटोमॅटिकली. आपल्याला काय पहिल्यापासून अ ब क ड ई शिकवायसाठी आजी आजोबा किंवा ट्युशन शेजाऱ्या पाजारच्या नव्हत्या. वी डिरेक्टली लर्न मराठी मदर टंग. This is the acquisition. That is a natural process. That is a natural process. We haven't take any extra efforts to learn language. कोणतेही एक्स्ट्रा इफर्ट्स घेतलेले आहेत, इफर्ट्स घेतलेले नाहीत, बिकॉज लँग्वेज इज लर्न्ड. भाषा जी आहे ती भाषा कशी आहे, भाषा उपजत नाही आहे. Bhasha is a learned. We have to learn it. We have to learn it. When we born, the slate is totally blank. पाटी पूर्णपणे कोरी आहे. We have to fill it. So, but what happened in English, Marathi or mother tongue? In mother tongue, you can understand that we acquire it, and acquisition is a natural process, and learning is an artificial process. English language learning in artificial process. How you learn English language? You learn like English language in the classroom. You learn English language from your teachers. And how much learning experience you get? Very little. So you listen English only for English classroom. You read English only for the English subject. You are not reading English extensively. You are not listening English extensively. You are only reading, listening English. I am not saying writing and speaking, because they are the active skills. We were only listening and reading English for 35 minutes. That is the specific time limit given to English period. So this is what little uh, learning experience we have, and as a result of that we also have a very little learning of English language. So this is what is the important thing. So we should practice speaking English. We should expand the horizon of learning experiences, language learning experiences. We should ask others. We should speak in English. We should listen in English beyond the walls of a classroom. क्लासरूमच्या वॉलच्या पलीकडं आपण इंग्लिश शिकलं पाहिजे. Most of the time, whatever I am speaking with you, whatever you listening, you forget all as soon as the bell rang. So this is what is the fact. This is what the realistic picture that we were speaking, that we were facing today in English, today about English language. So this is what practice speaking, as well as not only limiting ourselves to reading and listening. Then another thing is that instead of reading, listening in the classroom, we should expand the horizon. And another thing is that while expanding the exposure, we should be focused on in learning the skills, not learning the meaning. Understand? When we read a textbook or when we read a short story, the focus is on what is written. आपण एखादी कथा वाचतो. कथा वाचल्यानंतर मग ती मराठीतली असेल, हिंदीतली असेल किंवा इंग्रजीतली असेल, ती वाचल्यानंतर आपला जो मेजर गोल आहे, मेजर ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह आहे, ते काय आहे? व्हॉट इज द मेजर ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह? मेजर ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह इज व्हॉट इज रिटन. काय लिहिलंय म्हणजे काय? कायचं उत्तर काय? मीनिंग, अर्थ. कायचं मीनिंग आहे? अर्थ. We never ask or we never think in terms of a how it is written. आपण ते कसं लिहिलं गेलंय ह्याचा विचार आपण कधी करत नाही. We only concentrate on a what. काय लिहिलंय म्हणजे एखादं टेक्स्ट, आफ्टर रीडिंग a short story, after reading a poem, I always concentrate on what is written. I never think in terms of a how it is written. And as a result of that, as soon as I understand what it is written, and this is again in a mother tongue. जर तुम्ही हिंदीतला एखादा टेक्स्ट वाचला असेल तर व्हॉट इट इज ट्रान्सलेटेड इन टू युअर मदर टंग. तुम्ही कन्नड बोलत असाल तर कन्नड भाषेमध्ये ते ट्रान्सलेट केलेलं आपल्याला पाहायला. सो दिस इज व्हॉट इज द constant process in our mind, that we were translating whatever we were reading into mother tongue, and we were only concentrating on what is written or what is spoken. आपण ज्यावेळेस इंग्रजी ऐकतो किंवा हिंदी ऐकतो किंवा अदर दॅन मदर टंग ऐकतो, त्यावेळेस आपण काय करतो? वी वेअर ओनली कॉन्सन्ट्रेटिंग ऑन व्हॉट इज रिटन. पहा तुम्ही, वेन वी वेअर समजा एखादा कन्नड भाषिक माणूस महाराष्ट्रामध्ये आला आणि त्याला जर जेवायचं असेल तर तो काय म्हणेल? मला भूक लागली आहे, मला जेवायला द्या. ही पूर्ण वाक्य सांगायच्या ऐवजी किंवा पूर्ण वाक्य म्हणायच्या ऐवजी ही विल ओनली से जेवण. जेवण काय? जेवण इज ए कंटेंट वर्ड. शब्दाच्या दोन प्रकार आहेत, कंटेंट वर्ड आणि स्ट्रक्चरल वर्ड. कि J1 content word है. So he will only say J1 and you will understand that the person is hungry and he or she wants to uh, lunch or dinner. So this is what we, so the person who is using a foreign language or the person who is using unknown language is using content word, means he is using only a meaning. This is what the thing, this is what the shift we understand, and this is the important thing we should understand. Instead of oh, understanding only what, we should shift our focus on from what to how, from what to how. We should understand what is written, and at the same time we should understand how it is written. Both these things are important, and when we combine these two things we can understand uh, how to use English language. So in this session we learned two things. First thing is that English language learning is not learning or acquiring the knowledge about English language, but it is the skill. This is the first thing we learn. And second thing we learn from this session is that there are two approaches. First approach is a what, and second approach is the how. What is written, what is spoken, and how it is written and how it is spoken. So we should adapt both these things. We should understand what is written, and at the same time we should concentrate, we should focus on how it is written. So both these things are important. So we will stop here and continue the same in the next session, as we have already decided that before going directly toward the university syllabus we will discuss in general about the spoken English. Then we will also discuss about certain basic grammar chunks, and then we will go towards the topic that is prescribed to you. This is in fact a bridge course that we are supposed to do, that is linking between what we have learned it before this 12th and what we are supposed to learn in undergraduate courses. So we will stop here and continue the same in the next session. Thank you for listening.